Hi, this is Matt Furey with Psycho-Cybernetics 365. Today I have another incredible episode for you. Before I get into it, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Yes, you can share this video with friends and family, post it on your Facebook page and other social media. That would be fabulous. No need to ask, just do it. Let's continue with how to defeat the failure mechanism, or as Chapter 9 in Psycho-Cybernetics Updated and Expanded says, the failure mechanism. How to make it work for you instead of against you. Well, how would you make a failure mechanism work for you instead of against you? This is a good question. And the answer to this is that when you are working toward a goal, you got to know where you are as well as where you want to be. Knowing where you are is not just knowing your position in space and time. It is also being keenly aware of your emotional state. The failure mechanism symptoms are indicative of what your emotional state is. They are the gauges in your car that tell you when you need an oil change, when your air pressure in the tires is too low, when your brakes need to be fixed. These are the gauges. And without them, you're operating without enough knowledge to get yourself across the country, let's say. You're ready for a 3,000-mile journey across the country in your car, but you have no idea what the oil levels are, whether the tires are balanced, whether your brakes are any good, whether the tires can handle the journey. That would be a mistake. Knowing where you are is incredibly important. We are told in so many self-development courses to just focus on the goal, focus on the objective. Where do you want to be? But there's almost nothing being stated about knowing where you are in relation to the goal. If we look at sports, and you're a basketball player and you're at the free throw line to shoot two. Well, there is a free throw line that you stand behind. This means that you must know, as the guy with the ball getting ready to take the shots, where that line is. If your feet are over the line, whatever you shoot doesn't count. Imagine running a 100-meter race and you don't want to put your feet into the starting blocks. Well, then you're disqualified. You don't get to run the race. You don't get to stand up while everyone else is down. You know where you are, feet in the starting blocks, where's the finish? And then you move forward with aggression to get to the finish. So now we get to the second letter in the acronym failure: aggression. Misdirected. Misdirected. It doesn't mean that aggression is bad. It most certainly isn't. In order for you to become a goal getter, as I call them, aggression has to be part of your life. But misdirected aggression, this is the twin sister of frustration. You go to bed frustrated, you wake up frustrated, and if you don't have a way to combat that, if you don't have a way to turn that around, the likelihood of you acting out in an aggressive manner toward other people or in other situations that do not involve people is far greater. There is the misdirected aggression that you can bring into play where others are involved. And then there's the misdirected aggression that is internalized. You go through the day, you're polite, you're courteous, you say hello to everyone, and you smile. But inwardly, you're seething. You don't have any positive way to get rid of the frustration. And so the aggressive energy goes inward and it begins to attack your health. Your health is compromised because you're imploding. So there's an aggressive exploding of energy in a misdirected way, and there's the implosive way of harming the self, harming your own body. And we see this with high blood pressure, with ulcers, with anxiety, with depression, and so on. Now, what can we do to move this frustration out of our body, reset, and now use aggression in a positive manner? Well, first, you got to use aggression in a way that frees up the mind and the body. And this is done with a regular exercise program. Dr. Maltz wrote about doing push-ups and running and walking, or lifting some dumbbells, light dumbbells, he said. And then he got into what he was referring to as sports where you're using a ball. Think about this. You've got people who play tennis, who play baseball, who golf, and so on. And why do they do it? It makes them feel positive is one of the reasons. One of my clients found out that his best days, his most productive work days, where he made the most money, were the days where he got up and played pickleball at 7 a.m. He started his day hitting a ball and got all the pent-up frustration and misdirected aggression out of his body before he began his workday. Does that make sense? It does to me. It most certainly does to me. There are many other ways you can purge the misdirected aggression and frustration from your system. It could be punching a heavy bag, punching and kicking a heavy bag, being involved in some type of a combat sport or martial art. But one of the other ways that is not really mentioned in Psycho-Cybernetics for turning around this aggression and using it positively rather than negatively is prayer and meditation. Now, that's not going for a walk necessarily, but yet maybe it is. The practice of Tai Chi and other internal martial arts, one I practice regularly is Fan Zheng, and it's done very similarly to Tai Chi, just very slowly, breathing, and so on. This alone turns that aggressiveness in your favor. You get rid of the frustrating, the feelings of frustration and the misdirected aggression, and you practice something very slowly, being aware of every movement you're making, meticulously aware of how your joints feel, how your tendons are moving, the structure of your body, and so on. Then you have moving meditation, such as walking backwards. This is not meditation in the sense of sitting in the lotus position, but you're moving backwards out in nature or even in your own home, and you're keeping count of your steps. You're paying attention to your breathing and so on. That is also a way to turn around the misdirected aggression. And by way of doing that, rid yourself of feelings of frustration. There's much more I can cover on this that I'm excited about. I can talk about this failure mechanism for a month with ease, but this is enough for today. Make sure that you are doing something physical every day to let the excess steam out of the boiler. Let yourself enjoy the fruits of positive, aggressive activity so that you can use your aggression toward a goal in a directed rather than a misdirected fashion.